Okay, and now we're coming with you with how to adopt budgeting edition.
Yeah, this is actually Wannabe's thing too. Because every time I talk to her, isn't Sunday like your coupon day?
Well, it's more of a tabulation day where, oh boy, this is so embarrassing. I have Excel spreadsheets where one, I divvy out approximately one, how much I make each month, then how much of my other bills because they don't fluctuate like crazy, like my rent, my electric, my internet and cable, all of those things that are generally they don't change at all. I have that. Then I take whatever 80% of what's left after that and put that into savings, and whatever's left over I farted away with. And I, on top of that, I have another Excel where I calculate how much I'm spending on each area. So I make sure that I'm trying not to spend most of the money that I have around for me to fart around with, and still have money still saved for other things.
Yeah, because once you become an adult, you money like you you can do anything you want when you become an adult. You can cosplay, you can have hobbies, and bonus points if you actually finish college. At that point, you could do whatever the heck you want. A it's just having money to do adult things like pay for all the stuff you want to do,
and
plus
and worrying
having
about the student loan attack.
oh yeah, student loans. Oh my gosh, student loans, and then like having a job, and then just like all those extra fees that you have to pay for. I have to pay for utilities now. I have to pay for basic needs like electricity and water. This is crazy.
And mentioning that you still have to feed your ass because you don't just go to the cafeteria and you swipe your meal card. You have to either cook or have money to have other people do that for you. And sometimes you're very tempted to go, I could get more of that other stuff that could easily lead me to killing myself really quickly because it's cheaper. But I can't
But
do that because I'll get sick.
yeah, and then you have to spend money on medications.
Don't talk about the health insurance. That's already a deep hole. But we're just to talk about people who want to actually budget. And well, since you're mentioning me, sometimes when I budget, I again on Sunday, aside from the other stuff I mentioned, I also clip coupons. I,
Yes, because from our little swag bucks scenario, if you do sign up for swag bucks, you might as well use it for their awesome coupons.
they basically have the same things you would get in your, for the most part, the same coupons you would get in your newspaper, so you can actually double them up. And I usually, when I go shopping or use my coupons, I usually use them for essentials that you need to stock up on, like so deodorant, toothpaste, um, paper towels, toilet paper, stuff like that. You can never have too much of them unless you can't get it into your house. Then that's probably a bit too much.
Yeah, or if you're like me during college, I moved basically every year. So stocking up on things, I have to like limit myself on the things I would stock up because it would cost me to move those things. And that's also a part of being adult. You have to make provisions for moving and life and all those things, adult scary things. But it's okay. We're here to actually give you some couple tips. Another thing, in addition to coupon clipping and using Excel to manage your budget, which is awesome because Excel has like functions and all those cool things. I actually use this website called mint.com, and mint, like the leaf or the spice that you put in your tea, mint.com, they actually have a thing on there where you can put in all of your cards, all of your bank accounts, even your student loans. And basically, it gives you a measurement of how much you spend each month, what you're spending it on, and how much debt you have. And it's just a good reminder to see how much debt you have because it actually prevents you from spending your money on extraneous crap.
It's funny you mentioned that. I do all of that in Excel, even though I've wanted to try Mint, but I I am a paranoid being.
Yeah, I mean, Mint, it's on the internet and it's actually very secure. I haven't really had any problems with security with Mint. Also, they give me email updates. They give me email updates monthly, and they give me text updates weekly, so I can see how much money I've been spending, or if I buy a large purchase, like for instance, my cosplay that I spent a lot of money for. I actually got a alert on Mint saying unusual spending on this, that, and the other. So Mint's also a good way of double
That
checking to make sure you don't have fraud or anything like that. So that's another little helpful budgeting tool you may use.
actually, I think one of the biggest things you need to know about budgeting is just exactly where do you want to save up. You can, it's like at the end of the day, even if you do pay all of your utilities and stuff, sometimes you want to aim for something big. So you would also need to know where you want to use your savings up, other than just say, oh, I want to have me a 6 month. I could think it would be a provision plan just in case I lose my job or something. Just again, keep that idea in mind with what you're doing with your savings.
Yeah, usually a lot of bank accounts there was this excuse me, there was this fad back in the day called keep the change with like a Bank of America or whatever, where you can every time you make a purchase, it'll round up to $1 and it'll put the change into your savings account, and it builds up after a while. Well, Wachovia at the time, Wachovia responded with way to save. So every time you make a purchase, it puts $1 into your savings. I'm with Wachovia, which is now
Wells
Wells
Fargo.
Fargo, and yeah, Wells Fargo, and they still have I still have my way to save account, and I've saved up actually a couple thousands of dollars because I swipe my debit card a lot because I don't really carry around cash. That's just I don't know. I feel very paranoid about cash. The only reason why I started carrying around cash with me recently is because while I was in Japan, you need cash. You just need, they don't do cards in Japan. So, but international traveling is a whole nother how do I.
I do remember I used to have that on my account, and it was when I had my account linked up with my mom's. And you want to know what ended up happening? Anytime me or hers made a purchase, $1 would go out of my account to go into my savings, rather than just simply having small chump change go go into my savings, which was not something I liked. I know when I'm going to put stuff into my savings, so just idea there.
Well, I don't really have anything to say because I don't even have a bank account right now. My mom made me delete my bank account. And I don't really pay for anything on my own, so.
I mean, but that's why we're having this whole conversation because one day you will have to pay
Considering
for everything and budget. And I mean, you could probably start budgeting now. Just even because I know when I was in high school, I really didn't do a lot of budgeting. I really didn't. Most I would buy is like lunch during the day. But I mean, even with lunch during the day, you spend a lot on lunch.
oh, actually, now that you mentioned that, I got another thing for budgeting. Granted, you decided to live off campus while we were in college. I stayed in a dorm. And for me personally, it was just I got almost all the luxuries of what you would have on an apartment, except for I didn't. I'm trying to think. Did you had to pay utilities? You had to pay for something besides tuition, but some places you would have to pay for utilities. But my point is, like, since the kids are still in college, if you can, probably choose a better dormitory on your campus if that's the case, just so you can, again, save money. You don't, as nice as it is to stay off campus or have any other luxuries, sometimes it's worth it to not have those during college bum off your friends because again they're your friends. They'll understand, and then save up for after you graduate when those things are more likely to be a necessity.
Well, actually, to be honest, it depends upon your situation.
Right.
In the case of our college, it was more expensive to stay on campus than to stay off. So that's why I would stay off campus. Granted, yeah, you did have utilities, but a lot of the college places that were near campus, they didn't have utilities either. Utilities are included within your rent. So the only thing that you really had to worry about is having, because you have like a certain amount for electricity, a certain amount of watts you can use for electricity, and sometimes the electricity would jump in the wintertime because Christmas and all those kinds of things. So you might have to pay a couple extra dollars in December for electricity, but otherwise, especially in the summer, it was basically cheaper to live off campus because you could buy your own food. You didn't have to buy food on campus where it's a bit pricey. You didn't have to pay the extraordinary dormitory fees, trying not to use so much of your money traveling, which I usually just walked every day. I saved a good bundle just not having a car and walking to school every day. So that's a lot of budgeting.
Again, I was just saying, like for me, it seemed like it was worth it to spend that money for me. So I guess another thing about budgeting is if you are going to spend a little bit extra, make sure that it's things that again are worth it, but aren't too much of a liability for you. I guess.
Basically, consider your life and consider your life choices.
Oh my god.
Just had to go
It's
there,
true.
huh?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's not just don't freak out about this whole adult thing. It's not really as hard, and everyone figures out their own way eventually. I promise you, you won't fuck up. Just just make good choices. But we're moving on to the reboots then.
All right, but I think we need to give the kids a little bit of a resting from our voices.
Yes, we'll take a break and we'll be right back.